Hey everyone, got another project today. It's hot tub repair time. Our trusty old hot tub's got a little issue. First off, I want to talk about hot tubs. A great way to get a hot tub if you're in the market for one is buy a used hot tub. You can get them for pennies on the dollar, searching on Craigslist or Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. This one, I got it like 3 or 4 years old. It was like $8,000 tub, and I got it for somewhere just over $1,000. Of course, one thing you're asking though with buying a used hot tub is moving a hot tub. Seems nearly impossible. Well, there are services out there that have specialized equipment, move these really easily. They have a cart, goes up on end. It went right through my gate right there, rolled it right in here and plunked it down. They were $200 to $300, but well worth it when you're getting a hot tub so cheap. Just pay them to move it and you're ready to go. This is the second hot tub that I've owned that's gotten older, and things do go wrong, things go bad, but I found that apparently all the manufacturers use common parts inside. The pumps, heaters, all the fittings and everything are common, so they're really easy to find parts for on the internet. Alright, let's take a look at the problem here. This hot tub started this error code here a few weeks ago actually. Just check on the manual, there's a couple error codes, flow 1 and flow 2, and they mean some different things that help you troubleshoot. You can check the sensors inside the cover and everything. This one, however, it's reporting some errors, but the pumps are all working, and it's doing some really strange things like it just stays running constantly, never shuts off, and heating. So I got up to 114 degrees, which is way hotter than a hot tub should be. You know, I had to just throw the breaker to turn it off. Then one day the issues kind of changed intermittently. The pumps were not running at all and wouldn't turn on. But taking the covers off, I put my voltmeter on the outputs from the control board, and there was no electricity there, so it wasn't a problem with the pump. It really looks like it's something with the main control board, and that was kind of a fear of mine because of all the things that are common in hot tubs. The manufacturers have their own control boards, and boy, I was scared of what the cost to replace that would be. When I looked online for control boards for this model of hot tub, there were numerous revisions and part numbers and slight differences, and it was really hard to tell which one was the right model. I ended up contacting a company online, spacare.com, via email. I had taken a picture of my control board and had my model number from my hot tub, and I sent it to them and said, hey, what control board do I need for this? And they emailed me right back and said, this is the model you need of control board, and here's a link to it. And I was pleasantly surprised that it was $260. I was kind of fearing the worst to be even more expensive. $260 is probably one of the more expensive parts that I've had to buy for a hot tub. But still, with the savings I've had on this hot tub, buying it used, like $260 to keep it going for years to come, that's a good deal. Alright, I got my work jorts on. That means I'm ready to get dirty today. So we got to get in here and get this panel open. On the 2 hot tubs I've owned, the panels have been held on by a whole bunch of Phillips screws. So a power screwdriver is the answer to that. And then right behind the front panel is all the electronics, pumps, heater, control board, ozonator, stereo, lights, things like that. So let's get in there. Alright, behind the cover, this is a 2-pump model, so we've got a pair of jet pumps, and we've got an ozonator and lighting controller, and I believe the heater is back here. And then the control board we're interested is inside another enclosure with some more Phillips screws. But first, we've got the power on still, so for safety you always want to turn power off for what you're working on. Hot tubs by code should have an outdoor GFCI breaker. So you just like an in-home breaker, you can flip that. And now we've got our power off to the hot tub. Now I can take these screws off. there's our main control board. Here's a better look at it. I would suspect that the symptoms we're seeing with the pump staying on when it's not supposed to and then not coming on, that these relays and the black covers have probably gotten tired and need to be replaced. So if I really wanted to save money and had time to figure it out, I could find a source for these relays and unsolder them and solder new ones on the board. That'd probably save some money, but would take a lot of time as well. So this time I went for the fast repair of replacing the board. I'm gonna look at it carefully to how it's wired in, which connectors go where. Probably take some pictures too, just in case I end up at the end with an extra wire or something. I can go back and refer to the pictures that I took of where they all go. Here's the box that arrived today from spacare.com. Came real fast. I think it was 3 days. Everything's packed really nice in here. Good. All right, here's our new control board. Looks like there's a little bit of instructions even. So before we begin as well, we'll give it a good look over to make sure it looks like the right board. I do see a few differences between the boards, not the connectors. I see all the connectors look like they're going to match up. I see a few components that are different on the boards, and we'll chalk that up to this being a newer revision. I see my old board says it's a revision B, and this new one says revision D. So they've made some changes to the design, hopefully better. Hopefully it'll last longer than the old one did. But as far as where all the wires go, it looks like I can see where each wire will connect. So I'll start taking the old board out. One thing I noticed while inspecting the boards is there is a bank of jumpers which make some settings of some sort for the controller. My board is set a little different than the new board. So I'm going to make a change to make the new one match how my current board is configured, just by moving these jumpers around. Here we go. I just found the diagram for those jumpers that we were looking at. On the back of this panel we took off is a circuit diagram of the control board, and it does have the settings for those jumpers. Looks like you can change Fahrenheit, Celsius, and then set up for how you're wired to your hot tub. 30 amp, 50 amp, or 60 amp service. So you definitely don't want to change those. You want to keep them as they are. And then it looks like the only jumper I had was that 3 and 4 jumper, 1 pump or 2 pump. So mine's on for a 2 pump system. I'm going to try as much as I can as I pull these connectors off to go ahead and attach them right to the new board, if I can keep it out of the way, and then that way I'll have a lot less to memorize where it goes. Let's see, I think I can remember this. White, black, red, white, black. White, black, red, white, black. Let's see, I may loosen the old board now, get it out of the way. A couple Phillips screws holding it on. And let's see across the bottom, red, black, red, black, red, black. That's easy. All right, the old board's out of the way. Here comes the new board with just a couple more connections to make. I'm gonna put a couple of its screws in to hold it in place while I make the connections. All right, I'm giving it a good once over now to make sure I've got all my connectors put back on. Looks pretty good. And I'm gonna go ahead and power it up just in case while we have it all open, but I'm gonna be real careful not to touch anything inside there. Turn the breaker back on. See what happens. Well, that looks good. Reporting the temperature. See, pump 1, good, high speed, good, and pump 2, oh, pump 2 is not working, that's interesting. Try the lights, good, and change the temperature. Good. Alright, pump 2 is not working. I'll go back and give it a once over again. What do we got here? And actually, since we've got a spare board at our disposal, okay. Heater in, heater out. Here's pump 2 right here. Pump 1, pump 2. Make sure we got pump 2 connected. It looks good. And I wonder if we did see there was a 1 pump, 2 pump jumper. Should double check that as well. All right, we did resolve the problem. Not sure what it was exactly, but I did reseat all the connectors here, particularly the jumper that's 1 pump, 2 pump. I pulled it off and put it back on, and this connector comes from the control panel where the buttons are, the 2 pump button. Maybe that wasn't seated all the way. I pulled it off and reconnected it, and then I turned my power back on, and I do have my second pump now. So all the functions are working. Now I'm just gonna turn the power off one more time as I put the metal plate back on there and get us all buttoned up. Real quick, while I have the hot tub opened up, a couple of parts I replaced in the past. They weren't a big deal. They were just a couple dollars each, but they both did involve water leaking into the hot tub. So one day there was water leaking out underneath the hot tub, and this was a black nipple on this pump that had just cracked off, I guess from the vibration of the pump running. And when I went to look for replacement parts, oh look, they sell them in metal instead of plastic, which yeah, I didn't want it to break again. I think I got it on Amazon.com. And I did both pumps at the same time, so I wouldn't have that problem. And then a little time later, water underneath again, and it turned out to be this black fitting here. I also got that for just a few dollars on Amazon.com. So it is possible, if you're not adverse to a little bit of maintenance work, to keep an old hot tub running. All right, let's go get our trunks on and have a dip in the hot tub.